You're literally been the best player on your teams for the last 4-5 years, and they make you the sixth man. Like, at some point, do you get off or you just like, whatever?
I'm kind of numb to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's been over a decade at this point. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, it's who I am. I think that's obviously that's what I'm gonna leave the game as. That's what people are gonna remember about me. And so I just took it. I said, you know what? If that's what it is, then I'm just gonna be the best one. Like, it's gonna get to a point where, like, why, like you said, like, why is this dude not starting? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the funny misconception about that is, like, I haven't had a coach come to me and say, I think you should start. You know what I'm saying? Like, people think I'm like, nah, I'm cool on the bench. Like, I've literally haven't had a coach has asked me, or even in training camp, like, created that position for me.
Like, it's just weird. I remember, like, the reason I got my start was because of our sixth man, Bobby Sura. When Larry Hughes went out and they said, all right, Bobby, you're gonna start Larry Hughes out. And he was like, nah, start the rookie. I wanna stay coming off the bench because that's what I'm comfortable with. And I'm sitting like, all right, whatever.
I know when I lost my starting job, I was in Philly, I was playing against y'all, matter of fact. Anton Jameson broke my jaw. And I was gonna be out for 8 weeks. And I remember I was in the gym working out, and they came to me and they was like, at this time I'm averaging over 20 points a game for this team. And so they come to me and say, yo, we're thinking about bringing AI back. How do you feel about it? And I was, at the time, I was like, of course bring him back. That's my hero. Like, why would I not want, my big brother back on my team? And then once I came back from injury, we had another conversation like, yeah, we think we're going to have you come off the bench because, it's just not going to be cool to have AI coming off the bench in Philly. And I never got a starting job ever again after that. That's how I lost my starting job.
But is there ever a point where you can ask for your job? Maybe not ask in the sense of like begging for it, but just like, hey, you got to start me here. I'll be better off in this position.
It's never really been a thought for me. Cause it's like, I've always, as cliche as it sounds, like I've always been a team player. So it's like, if that's what the team needs from me, then that's what I do. And, over the course of my career, I've done that shit to a fault, kinda. You know what I'm saying? To a point where it's kind of stifled what could have been. You know what I mean? But that's just my MO. That's who I am. And my high school coach, he instilled that kind of attitude in me, and I took it and ran with it.
Jamal Crawford's 1 year in front of me, so I got to see his style. And then I remember you in high school, coming in 2 different platforms.
Yeah, for sure.
It was, he was way up here compared to where he was in high school, especially for a name. So it was like, watching Jamal, and like he started a couple years, but then with your skill set, I'm like, wait, how is Monte starting, but they're not allowing Lou to start? And then like each year you're like, okay, I get he plays the fourth quarter. I watch, San Antonio and Ginobili, and you got, the week 1 starting first. Like they started that shit, like, you remember Roy Ivey?
Yeah.
Come in, play 3 minutes, and then they bring in the real starter. It's like, well, what is the point of that?
Right.
And it was just like,
I got caught up in a perfect storm. I think for my first 3 years it was AI. Then I'm rolling. Now I break my jaw, and now I have a teammate in Drew Holiday that they're also trying to groom and grow up. So he had that opportunity to keep moving in those couple of months when I was down, and then you bring AI back. And so I think that just created the whole thing in my career where I just never really got a shot.
If you're the most dangerous person on the floor in every team you're in, like, I don't know why you're not demanding to be starting. I know they're trying to use that. Well, he's a combo guard, man. That combo and point and what. Just let me do what I do. Like, if I can do it at the end of the game, why can't I do that at the beginning of the game? Right. And that's how I always looked at it.
But you know what? For me, even in games that I do start, kind of boring to me. Because like the first 6 minutes, everybody trying to find a rhythm. By the time I come in, I know who's rolling on their team. I've already made my adjustments by the time I come in. And then fourth quarters, it's like his header is mono now. So bring your KDs and everybody come out and let's get it.
But see, that's what pisses me off, because it's like you have I think probably the financial part for me, what makes me mad is like, you averaged 22 last year?
Right.
Or this year?
It was 20, I don't know.
22,
9 or something like that. Yeah.
So 23 on 26 minutes.
Right.
If you play starter minutes, 30, 31, max contract. So you have a max player that you're handicapping on the bench. And that's the shit I just be like, see, this that dumb shit here. You know what I mean? And that's
just the way, it's just the way my shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would drive myself crazy trying to
figure it out.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's just how I keep my peace of mind with it. Just chalk it up. I'm going into year 15, like I ain't getting none of that money back. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Because I remember when like it was during the playoffs when it was like, oh, they got Lou Williams at a bargain.
I've been every single time, bro. So I have no faith in somebody coming out and doing right by me. So with that in mind, and also being happy and comfortable and where I was in LA and just where I was in my career, you know, we took a deal that was kind of like, you know, a lot of people were scratching their heads on that one, but it made me happy. And so at the end of the day, that's what it was about. You know, my kids love it out here. I'm in a position where I can go out and hold my thing. You know, do I deserve more money? Of course I deserve more money, but I was happy at the time, you know, so that was the conversation we had and that was the decision I made.
Yeah, you know, when you came to Doc, you know, it was like, okay, that's a good fit because, you know, you got Sammy over there. Crazy. Like, and then so you got two hoopers with you, you know. So you know, they understand, and they not gonna throw wins away trying to. They're gonna say, hey, give it to Lou, get the hell out of the way. You know, that's just how Sammy is. So you know, Sammy's gonna relay that shit to Doc, and Doc is just gonna play basketball. So you know, it's the perfect fit, and he's gonna always. It's like because of the style he plays, and he lets you do what you do, is gonna always keep you. So you're not gonna have that. At 36, 37, you fall off, and now you got to go play and do Vince Carter minutes. Right. Because he's going to always
get you in a position where you can be successful. And that's why I love Dr. Def. Like, a lot of guys don't have, you know, I hear guys that say things about Doc, and I try to find it. I'm like, what the they see? Like, and I can't, bro. I really enjoy playing for the dude, man.